When I was 18, I was told I was an adult. Well, I wasn't exactly told, but I got a driver's license and that implied it. Wasn't exactly ceremonial. There were no instructions, just suddenly. I stepped out into the world with ideas and bits of advice that were handed down, all of them presented as complete. Some came from adults, more came from music and pop culture. Stuff like live like you're gonna die young, or one of its many variations, or seize the day and its scrappier cousin, YOLO. Somehow that felt like enough to assemble something resembling a life. And honestly, it worked, mostly. Those ideas made hesitation look like fear. They rewarded motion, and they kept me light and upright. Back then, I treated the future like a rumor, instead of a place I might actually have to live. Imagining myself at 30 felt fictional, and retirement felt mythological. So I moved fast. I spent money like it might expire, and I treated self-investment like something I could circle back to. It didn't feel reckless, it felt aligned. At that stage, my life still didn't contain very much weight. I had no mortgage, no kids, no accumulated proof that time compounds. So those ideas felt good to enact. They didn't wobble, they didn't strain, and they didn't need nuance. They just needed to move you. They kept me enthusiastic about what could be, and helped me take risks without having to rehearse catastrophe. There was no reason to distrust ideas that kept me moving, especially at an age when forward feels like all there was. For a long time, nothing felt wrong. Money came in, money went out. Time passed quietly through one-year leases. Then suddenly, and without warning, I was 30. I looked around at people my age, mostly married, with kids and homes. I looked forward a little and felt spooked. Time hadn't been resetting, it had been compounding. Something that had always felt neutral suddenly had weight. I had lived like there was no tomorrow, but then tomorrow kept arriving. So when was I supposed to plan my retirement? I started wondering where I'd be at 40, why I hadn't stumbled onto that house I imagined living in, and whether I'd ever get married. And I noticed something. Those old ideas weren't really built for these kinds of questions. Looking back, it's easy to roll my eyes at the cultural scripts of the past, but that doesn't feel fair. To their credit, they were optimized for courage, not longevity, and for motion, not orientation. They compressed nuance, and maybe that's the point. Nuance slows you down, after all. They helped me overcome my nerves and leave the house, but they didn't help me build one. As a teen, receiving those ideas felt like being handed a bag of random screws and asked to build something. No instructions, no explanation of what went where. You just try one, and it holds, so you assume it's right. But ideas don't reveal their limits until they're asked to hold weight. Growth didn't come from finding better screws. It came from noticing which ones kept loosening once something heavier rested on them, and then not forcing them back in. I didn't outgrow every incomplete idea at the same time. Some hit resistance quickly. Others coasted for years without protest. I stayed in certain relationships too long because I believed in their potential, and then discovered my idea of someone's future often isn't theirs. I learned fairly early that I didn't need to stay in uncomfortable situations just to seem polite. That one corrected almost immediately. but you adjust where you feel pressure. And where you don't, ideas can linger comfortably. That's part of what makes hindsight so confident. Once a bad idea gets replaced with a better one, it's kind of hilarious how quickly we start acting like we always knew. And easy to assume other people should know better, as if you didn't need the same contact. I didn't start dismantling every idea that looked suspicious, but I did stop assuming that they're all permanent. Some of them are tools, some of them are scaffolding, and some of them are just fuel for a particular season. They can feel complete before they're tested, and that doesn't make them foolish. It just means they haven't carried much yet. Hard as it can be to admit, most ideas people live by aren't right or wrong. They're relative to what you're building, to how much weight you're asking them to hold. Some of them do their job and then quietly expire. I forget that sometimes, especially when I see someone younger walking a path that I've already revised. I catch myself feeling a little annoyed, momentarily forgetting that there was also a version of me who needed that same idea at one time, as a place to start, if nothing else. I'm still not sure which ideas I might be using past their usefulness. I didn't throw away the bag, and I didn't get better instructions. I just stopped assuming that every screw was meant to hold forever.